This is my dog. Her name is Kara. She is 3 years old. I got her a month or so after my birthday. As you can see, her teats are out, but not because she's pregnant, but rather she thought she was pregnant, and she started nesting in the whole 9 yards. You know, I was warned that if I don't get her fixed, she would turn into a monster, and she would do some horrible things. I was told that she would be dangerous for children, that she'd be dangerous to me, and a lot of stuff, and I refused to believe it. I went against status quo. I didn't have her fixed. You know, she's a very good dog. The first year that I had her, when she went through her stuff, she jumped the fence and everything, and never attacked a soul. There was actually a 2-year-old or a 4-year-old that was out on the street, and when she left the fence, I couldn't find her, and I started running all over the place, and lo and behold, she was playing with the little boy. And I was freaked out because I was looking to find her attacking or causing harm to somebody. And I apologized to the guys. The kid's father, and the father was just glad that his son had a good experience, you know. I go against status quo with her a lot, you know. I always try to make sure that I'm stern with her, as stern as possible. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Good girl. And when she doesn't have her bad breath in my face, because I usually don't have my face this close to her, I try my best to make sure she recognizes I do care for her. And it's a great relationship. She's able to be around my cousins that she's never met before, and they are able to tell her what to do and put a leash on her and walk out the house, no problem. These are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old, 9-year-old cousins. Sometimes there could be one child, my niece, and sometimes there could be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 children. Sometimes I bring her to family functions. You know, my niece's 4th birthday, there were 40 kids there, and she didn't attempt to bite any of them or chase after them. As a matter of fact, she was running away from them. Great relationship, in my view, you know. And a lot of people could say a lot of things, you know. Stop. A lot of people could say a lot of things, you know, about my relationship with her. But the whole fact of the matter is that I don't go with the flow of everybody else's thought process of how to raise a dog. I took her out on the street, and I made sure that she got acclimated to babies and to human beings when I used to carry her. So she got used to what was going on. I think that is something that could be said about most relationships in general. Sometimes you gotta go against status quo. Go ahead, Carl. outside so that things can get done the right way. Sometimes you gotta show that sincere respect and desire for one another. And that's not even just in relationships where it's husband and wife or anything, even as a unit, as a people, because in general we go through so much and we don't have the backup or the backing to get help when we actually need it. So the little people that we do have connections to, we need to cherish those relationships. Also, when we're trying to move on anything, we need to remember there was a time when we couldn't accomplish these goals. We couldn't move forward like this. I get bothered sometimes because of the fact that we as a people are very archaic to one another. We're very barbaric to each other. And we also have issues with trying to positively fix things, humble ourselves, to break ourselves down to get something done. Who knows what it is, because I wasn't there when you got raised, and I'm sure that there's a lot of people that are around when I was getting raised, but I don't know that any of them will see this message per se. We have common goals, common wants, and common desires. Being married is one of them. The desire to eat, to have a place to live, and things of that nature. Education. We all have those desires. I do believe that if we were sincere and went against status quo to try to get things done, we can accomplish great things. But that's only if we're willing to look past ourselves and past false teachings and past teachings that have not helped us, and try to get things done, and also add some things that could help us to get things done today as a unit. Especially with the Nubian family, I think that in these days and these times, family is essential, even from the aspect of ministry. Something that's on my mind right now is fear. And I've been asking this question for maybe 3-4 days. A brother posted a video up about, or rather not a video, but an article about what a man did to a boy. If you haven't seen it, it was in Jacksonville, Florida. The man literally went out on the street, saw a boy, dragged him in his house, sodomized him, and it turned out that the man had HIV. And I basically was like, yo, that guy, he was nuts. He lacks any fear, Then I started thinking to myself, do I have fear? I know I have fear for certain things I can see. I reverence certain things that I see, but I physically can't see my Creator. That brings me to wonder if maybe, even if it's me, do I actually fear my Creator? Do I actually fear my Master? Lay down. Lay down. Good girl. And then that makes me wonder, what is fear? People will say that Yah did not give us a spirit of fear, but rather, I don't disagree or agree. I'm going to try to keep it neutral. The fear that Yah was talking about, because he did say something about fear. Solomon did. He said, true fear is the knowledge of Yah. So therefore, the kind of fear that the Bible is talking about is reverence and acknowledgement and understanding. Also, when you look at the scriptures, you see several times where these people actually were afraid of Yah and actually operated as people who got on their knees and begged and prayed and were scared and started getting ready to run because the magnificence of just the Malak, the angels, the messengers, the majestic ones, and they had to correct them and say, hey, we're just human. James has said that the angels, or is it Jude? I think it's Jude, said that the angels know about Yah and they shudder. Even the demons know about Yah and shudder. Demons being fallen angels, those who fell from the grace of Yah. So there's an operation that must occur for those who claim that they fear Yah, that they truly love Him, that they truly believe in Him. And part of that is how we treat one another, how we are willing to handle situations. I think that it's something that we as a people are not good at doing. When we say we believe in something, there must be an action. When we say we want something, there must be an action. I dismantled off a Love of Jesus movement for a moment, and I'm going to dismantle. I already started dismantling the Ebony planning phase. I left the question up there, and I took down everything that was in the group because of lack of group participation and discussion. I did that because I need to know if what we're doing is sincerely what people understand as important or a necessity. Because when you believe in something, you do whatever possible to get things done, and people just don't seem like they understand that. I've been discouraged several times for building on Facebook, and now I'm starting to see that it might not be the best thing for me as a person. Overall, what are you doing scratching yourself? Lay down. That's not laying down, that's sitting down. Lay down. Good girl. But when you see or think or believe that there's issues that you want to see changed, then you do what you need to do to get things done. But you have to believe in those things. And when the person truly fears, they act in a way necessary to get things done. For us as believers, only a portion of that is studying the Word. The rest is life application. And the reason why I'm looking at my dog right now, she looks funny. Life application is so serious. It's because of the fact that we want to believe, or we want to claim that we serve a God that acts. Part of that is that it's written, my faith shows my works. If I truly believe, my actions are going to speak just like my voice will speak. And we have to prepare. You're getting a bath. And we have to prepare. Kara. Kara. That's Kara. Maybe you were outside too long just now. Let me give you a warm bath. But we have to be sincere about things. If you're a believer of the Messiah as well, you got the book of Acts. It's called the book of action for a reason. I wish it was called the book of application. That would probably be a lot more helpful of what we are supposed to do and how we're supposed to live. We have the laws of Moses. We might as well call that this is what you got to do to live while you wait, or while you abide in Yahuwah. Too bad there's no book on being married monogamous wise or polygynous wise. But that's a sad thing. Too bad there's no book on how to defy people's views of raising animals when they have multiple degrees and have had multiple experiences than you did. Lay down, Cara. That's not laying down, and you know it. Lay down. She's a good dog, and I don't have to raise my voice at her to get things done. Made a mistake of raising my voice at my nieces this last weekend, trying to deal with them. Good kids, but adults need to have a lot more practice at trying to deal with kids, and they should not be used as practice or examples, because they are human. They have the same rights that every other kid desires. The same thing for our elderly, the same thing for our sick, the same thing for our homeless. I mean, if you truly, sincerely have a desire to build for your people, you need to start seeing everything is the same. A failed marriage within your community is a failed marriage for your people. And if they're failing, your people are crumbling. Stop licking me. That's nasty. No. Yuck. So, if they fail, you fail. A child not having clothes in your community is a bad thing. A child not having food in your community is a bad thing. An adult male not having any of those things, including education, is a bad thing, because you're only as strong as your weakest link. And it's going to take people who are willing to go against teachings that are not, that have been around for centuries and decades, but might not have been your own, might have been European teachings, non-messianic, non-biblical, non-scriptural teachings on how to live and how to handle other people. And those teachers have come about because they were designed to see us fail, but it's also dealing with a group of people that spent millennia being pompous and trying to look down on their own people. One of the sad truths about America itself is that we are a people that tend to regurgitate and congregate on theses that's not our own, And lay down. Who told you could touch my foot? Lay down. Who told you could touch that? Lay down. That is not laying down. Why are you being rude on purpose? Thank you. So, that's the thing about our country. We regurgitate ideas and theories that don't hold true and would not hold true with the amount of people that we have. And every nation that has ever fallen has fallen after two things have occurred. Number one, high import export and focus and allowing the operation of homosexuality to reign free. The thing is with that is that these things are not the only things that they've done, but that's usually the final stroke that usually causes them so much harm. These people could be cutthroats and thieves. Most people tend to go out to nations that are not the best secure, and how they usually find out in the olden days about how easy it is to take down a nation is they go and they look at the slums and the streets and stuff like that, and they look at the people, and then they're like, this is a weak force, we can take them out. And usually their king has no true sincere love for the creator of all things. And with that being said, that king also probably does not have love for you guys probably don't want to see that. That king probably doesn't have love for his people also. In the book of Samuel, that was one of the warnings of what Yah told Samuel to tell them about if they got a human king, what would occur. And the people still wanted it. And he gave them Shaul. He gave them Saul. And if you understand why he gave them Shaul, is this because of Joseph that he gave them Shaul. Judah was the prophesied leader of the people, and it will be from Judah, and it has been from Judah that the prophesied leader will become from. However, Joseph was the firstborn of the wife that Jacob actually wanted, and the other wives that Jacob had, you making me scratch now. Can you chill? The other wives that Jacob had, he did not want them. You know, he had to take them in order to get the other wife. As a result, there was a lot of chaos in his home, but that was because Jacob didn't want it and he wasn't prepared to deal with what would occur. Lay down. Go away. Lay down. He wasn't prepared. I need to make you some tea. He wasn't prepared to deal with what it took. Down, please. I'm down. Lay down. Lay down. Stay. 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 He wasn't prepared to deal with what would happen if he had multiple wives. But even still, he also played favorites. Anywho, lay down. Lay down. Thank you. Stay. Animals act like children, but they're not children. Don't look at me like that and then put your face down. What was I gonna say? My dog broke my focus. He played favorites with his children, and that led a war in his household. But the Spirit of Yah used Joseph to save his people. And a lot of teaching in the Bible were preludes to what the Messiah would do. Lay down in the future, the day to come. Lay down. So, the Benjamite known as Shaul became king. And you would assume that he would have had a spirit like his forefather. Remember what his forefather did and had the opportunity to do what he needed to do for the people, because obviously this is Yah talking, and deciding who needs to be the king. Also, we know that Yah gives us things that we need to learn from. And unfortunately, Shaul wasn't up for the cause, and David was up for the cause. But actually, you see that Solomon, that was David's son, who got way more than what David had, wasn't up for the cause either. Even saying that Jeroboam was a descendant from Joseph. And Jeroboam started sacrificing to other gods and doing things he had no business to. There was no reverence. No reverence for Yah, and no reverence for his people. And the scriptures write and read that all have sinned and fall short of the glory of Yah. And in another passage, none are righteous, not one. And it does it for a reason. Because sincerely and ultimately, we as a people have issues with reverence and fear. That is bad. In Matthew chapter 23, it says, I never knew you. Lord, Lord, didn't we do this? Lord, Lord, didn't we do that? And I can get the passage wrong if I did, I'm sorry. And he said, I never knew you. O you workers of iniquity. We operated through sin. We lacked the love and the reverence and the honor and the homage it would take in a world that we were designed to dominate, to meet the requirements and to do the will of the All-Father, the creator of all things, the source of life. And that is very sad to me. Men are the closest thing to the creator of all things that you can have on this earth. That's why Yah blesses them with wife and children. You know, marriage is the closest bond on the face of this earth that was designed for the sake of replicating the relationship between man and Yahuwah, with man and wife in the physical, because that's why he did not want her to be alone. Children are the first line and example of Yah's ability to create and manifest on this earth, which is why it's imperative to realize your place on this earth for them, as well as your responsibilities to your wife and your husband. And Paul has a slew of stuff to say in the book of Galatians, in the book of Ephesians, in the book of Colossians about how we are to operate for these beings. In the end, the choice is yours on what needs to be done, but that lack of respect that we tend to have for the King and Creator of all, it is very, very, very bad. It flows into everything. It flows into how we deal with animals, who deal with children, how to deal with our families, how we deal with work situations. It causes us to fall into a status quo that is ungodly, man-minded, and like-minded, but not God-focused. It causes us to do a lot of things that are not right, that are unrighteous. And we need to come out of that rut. Love one another as we desire to be loved. To cherish one another as we desire to be cherished. We need to work on our relationships and have reverence. If we keep falling into the gap and dealing with people that have no love for Yah, then we'll get nowhere. That's my thoughts for tonight. Love you all.